Good morning on a beautiful sunny Sunday morning in late September. I am in my office avoiding cleaning as we do. And I was reading through some of the headlines on my Apple News account. And I came across one in the Washington Post talking about deed fraud. And it was a great first person account of how this can happen. So imagine discovering that your family home has been stolen, not physically, but through paper and signatures. This nightmare scenario is happening all over the country right now, and it became a reality for this Washington Post reader. Her father died, and she flew from her home in LA out to Palm Beach to get his condo ready for sale. She was his only daughter. It sounds like that was the extent of their family. And she gets there and she learns from Palm Beach County Recording Office that a deed had been filed just after her father died, saying that her father had sold the condo for $10 to this fraudster. Um, let's talk about how this could happen and what are some steps you could take to protect yourself. So, starting with the Washington Post story, the daughter, it really describes just how vulnerable people can be to having this happen to them. After her father's death, the daughter expected to inherit his Palm Beach condo. Instead, she discovered that a complete stranger had filed paperwork claiming ownership to the property. The fraudster had recorded a deed saying that her father had sold the home for $10 just weeks before his death. The scheme involved a fake notary stamp and even listed deceased individuals with the father and daughter's last name, making it look like they were family members, as witnesses. And despite having clear evidence of forgery, as you can see if you read the article, the legal system has its own barriers that it threw up to make it harder for her to prove this. The court actually initially dismissed her case because she hadn't provided proper notice to the fraudster that she was going to court. So eventually, she managed to reclaim the property by publishing a legal notice and reopens the case, but not before spending 10 months and $60,000. So, understanding how deed fraud works is crucial to preventing it. Property records are intentionally public. Um, Anyone can view the documents. Here in Rhode Island, you could just go to uslandrecords.com and you could see anybody's deed. While this transparency serves legitimate purposes, in other words, it puts people on notice that you own your property. It also is creating these opportunities for fraud. Criminals often target homes with absentee owners, often vacant properties like land or estates in probate. They forge signatures, they create false documents, they create false witness statements, and they use fake notary stamps. Now, the thing to remember that a county clerk is not going to verify authenticity of anything that you have submitted. That's not their job. They're going to make sure that the document is properly formatted and that it will serve the correct notice that it's intended to serve, that the person filing it is the owner. So this allows fake deeds and documents to slip through. Even after discovering the fraud, victims can face procedural hurdles in court, meaning they do need to hire a real estate attorney to help them with this. Sometimes there are strict notification rules and sometimes statute of fraud limitations. There are things that if you just bite the bullet and hire a professional, it will probably save you time and money in the long run. So there are ways that you can protect yourself from this happening to you. While the county clerk is not going to verify the authenticity of the document, there are ways to protect it, especially here in Rhode Island. Consider placing your home in a trust. This is not a fail-safe. This is not a foolproof way. As you see in the Washington Post article, she said, had she placed it in trust, this wouldn't have happened. Well, that's not necessarily true, but adding the layers of ownership make it a little less prone to casual fraud. Someone would have to do a lot more work to create the false documents if it's got that extra layer of a trust. So and your property probably should be in a trust and not in your own name for a lot of reasons. Um, Take advantage of the services. For example, Portsmouth, Tiverton, and Little Compton here in Newport County all have fraud alerts. If you go to your county records you'll see on their page that they will allow you to sign up for fraud alerts. And what that does is it sends you an email every time someone files a document in your name at the county recorder's office, so you can catch it really quickly. Newport, Middletown, and Jamestown don't seem to have these, although they are using U.S. land records, which is the source of the fraud alert for the other towns. So it could be just that they're advertised differently. You also can look at adding forgery coverage to your title insurance. If you don't have title insurance on your property, you probably should. It is not expensive and it carries with the length of the time that you have the property. The value of title insurance is they're going to do a check before they even issue the policy, and they're going to say, okay, we agree that this title is clean or this title is quiet, and they're going to assign a policy to it, meaning that if you run into this scenario, they're going to defend this for you in court. The other thing you can do is go on U.S. land records or your city's public records regularly, at least once a year, and just go make sure nothing's there that you don't recognize. If you are concerned about deed fraud, and really we all should be at this point, develop an immediate response plan. Know who to contact, your county clerk, a real estate attorney, and your title company if you have title insurance. Keep detailed records of your property ownership and any communications that may indicate potential fraud. Remember, quick action can result in a quicker clarification and quiet of that title. Whether you're a homeowner or you're helping family members, I think sometimes the elderly can be particularly vulnerable to this. Staying vigilant and informed is the best defense. Don't wait until it's too late. Take steps today to protect your property today and tomorrow. I'm Sandy Warner with Warner Realty Group, making the complex simple.